former governor, Yahaya Bello, has petitioned the Inspector General of Police, Kpai, over alleged defamatory statements made against him by Senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpabio. In a petition signed by his lawyer, Bello asked the police to invite Akpabio to substantiate her claims with evidence or face arrest. If she fails, he also issued a separate letter demanding a retraction and public apology, threatening legal action otherwise. Bello claims the senator defamed him during a homecoming event on April 1st in Okehi local government area of the state, where she accused him of plotting an assassination against her. The former governor insists the senator's remarks violate Section 24(1)B of the Cyber Crimes Act of 2015. I mean, we have been following this story, Adefemi Akinsoya. I mean, when this Yahaya Bello's petition came up online, there were, mixed reactions. Should I take one reaction before I come to you? Sure. And this person wrote on X, Yahaya Bello, facing serious allegations of embezzling billions in public funds, now wants to prosecute a sitting senator. The irony is loud. Oh, loud gone. He should face justice, not distract from it. I mean, I thought that was quite a cheeky joke. But that sort of conversation was online. Like, are you the one now prosecuting people? But everyone is entitled to defend themselves. Yeah. Go ahead, no matter what.
Is Yahaya Bello entitled to defend himself?
Question and answer.
Okay. Well, what I think we need to do here is actually, in all seriousness,
yes.
I think it is quite preposterous for Yahaya Bello to be saying anything other than facing his front, really. I think that when you find yourself in a situation like this, you've got too much business to mind than to be minding what somebody else is saying. So yes, I can understand and to some extent sympathize with accusations being put against you that you believe are untrue.
Yes.
But you've got far too much to be focusing on, especially when it comes to accusations of embezzlement,
yes,
than to be worrying about Senator Natasha Akpabio. I think you need to face your front, Yahaya Bello.
Tells Yahaya to face his front. Defamation is a serious problem. But I mean, it's not as serious as embezzlement. That's what that's what
there's no way
you're
near
saying.
as serious.
A quick comment, and then I move to the next story.
The other, there's a lot happening behind the scenes, yes, because there is also speculation, yes, that is rife that he's trying to see how he can vie for that particular senatorial district, yes, as well in the future. So, yeah, it's expected. This is unfortunately how politics is played often is in these types of things. Listen, in the issues before the courts, and there's currently a court order, I believe, just stopping discussion specifically between Senator Natasha and Senator Akpabio, yes, from speaking on this issue. But Yahaya Bello was also mentioned in that. A number of other names were also mentioned, and they're absolutely entitled to come up and say that we shouldn't be in this conversation. But what is not, it doesn't take away from the fact that we know the undertones of this conversation are now around the potential of Yahaya Bello possibly going from being a former governor to becoming a senator of this Kogi, is a central constituency.
You know that the story is unfolding, is developing.
Disturbing news has been going viral in social media spaces concerning our own Senator Natasha. So gunmen attacked Senator Natasha Akpabio's family in Kogi State last night. These armed men suspended to be hoodlums reportedly attacked the family residence of Senator Natasha Akpabio in the early hours of Tuesday in Obiba, Ihima, Okehi local government area of Kogi State. According to security sources, the attackers, armed with cutlasses and firearms, stormed the property around 1 o'clock a.m. This is happening in the middle of the night, vandalizing some part of the building, including smashing windows. Zingazola Makama, a counter-insurgency expert, revealed this via his Twitter handle that the senator's chief security officer, Yakub Ovanja, reported the incident to the authorities. Police operatives from the Okehi division quickly responded to a distress call and arrived at the scene, although there was no casualties or arrests have been reported, but investigations are currently ongoing. At the time of this report, Senator Natasha Akpabio, who represents Kogi Central, has equally come out to verify that this news is true. My people, wahala dey say e be like bicycle. knowing too well that Yahaya Bello have already petitioned this woman issuing a warrant arrest against Senator Natasha because of her statement when she visited her state in Kogi State last month, where she said that Yahaya Bello and Akpabio are conniving to silence her. They want to kill her in a hotel. My correct people dem, things dey say e dey happen. But thank God that he is the only one that is keeping this lady safe. Because see how Nigeria be. Politicians can do anything just to remain in power. May God protect this lady. His life is at risk. For to the extent that these people have used so many means to remove this woman from power, they did not survive. They could not succeed. They used means of hoodlums to go and attack her in her hometown. I don't understand what is actually going on in this country. Last week, we hear that NSA, the chief security officer in Nigeria's car, his Hilux was stolen when he went to pray in Abuja. People went to that mosque and stole a vehicle. What exactly is going on in this country? Eh? We are jubilating that there is a heavy wedding going on in Nigeria. Boom! Look at what Sultan of Sokoto said. Sultan of Sokoto is prison saying that social media is the real bandit. That terrorists in Nigeria is social media. How will you tell that terrorists in Nigeria is social media when you have failed to condemn Fulani herdsmen killing all over everywhere in the country? We are northern people. Because say Uromi people killed 16 northerners in Edo State. You people were ranting all over the social media. Justice for, and you told the kidnapper that they are hunters of Hausa hunters. Now, Fulani herders have killed about 201 people in Benue State yesterday. We are northern people. We have not heard your voices. What exactly is happening? Okay, others are good to die, whereas the northerners are good to live. I don't understand what is happening in this country. It is high time we call a spade a spade. This is why I like Igbo people. If an Igbo man should misbehave or do something wrong, the whole Igbo people will condemn it. We don't, in fact, we don't accept evil in our land. As a matter of fact, if you do evil, we will condemn you immediately. We don't know whether you're a family member or not. We condemn you. But in the case of the northern part of the country, it is something else. You hardly see a northerner call a spade that his brother did a spade. And they will look for an excuse, look for a means to justify their evil actions. This is really ridiculous. My people, my people. Senator Natasha of all people, God will continue to protect you. Evil will not see you. They will plan and come in one way, but in 7 ways, God shall scatter all of them. You will be in the front, they will be at the back. What is happening in the middle, you will be at the top. It not going to reach you, my sister. My people, my people. All of them say, be like bicycle. Yahaya Bello Zukwanike. Akpabio, kindly accept defeat. Shebi, your lawyer yesterday made a public announcement that Natasha should quit this court issue, that both of you should settle out of court. You understand? Secret settlement because both of them are family friends. Okay, your parent did not discover that both him and Natasha knows each other from, in fact, family friends. Both Bello's wife and Akpabio's wife and Natasha's husband know each other. They know themselves to their family. These are family friends. Why are you maltreating her in the chamber? You expected to protect her. Even though that Natasha's husband have already called you privately several times, telling you to respect his wife in that chamber, but you blatantly refuse. The same you, Akpabio, that refused to accept the change of your seat when you are not even the Senate president. You are still the same you that is giving Natasha a headache, that she must accept the change that occurs on her seat. I don't even understand what is happening. You see, that thing you know you will not accept from anyone, don't do it to someone else. Akpabio, in your own time, you refuse to accept this from the Senate president during your own tenure. You refuse to accept it. Same way Natasha refused to accept this. And you're still tackling her. You suspend her. You do this to her. Akpabio, rest. Eh, my people, I will allow you guys to watch wetin dey happen for dis kain country, especially dis Sultan of Sokoto matter. When Sultan of Sokoto dey talk say the real terrorists wey dey inside Nigeria say na social media. The question I'm asking dis man, if he's warrant for social media, How will you people, especially in the northern part of the country, would have believed that Fulani herders are the real problem in the country? That is the question. How would the people would have seen that these people that were by Unoromi are northern people? That is another question. So how are we going to see some certain things that are hidden? For instance, there was a child I saw on, I think that was on a Rise television, where this child, I think the parents of the child is an orphan. So the foster parents were busy maltreating this child, this boy child. If it happened that social media spaces were not available for this child to be seen how he is being maltreated, and the governor of Zamfara State hastened up to take appropriately, in fact, he took care of this child. He has adopted this child as his own, promised to take care of this child and to discipline the foster parents that are maltreating this tender boy. I don't know if you guys are getting something. And Sultan of Sokoto, all of a sudden, they make necessary to come on social media spaces. Same social media you are passing your message. Same social media you are using your microphone to talk for people to see what you are saying. Same social media you are disseminating your message for people to see. Is same social media that you are condemning. I don't understand. We are talking about freedom of speech. Social media is a means of disseminating messages. It is not a terrorist organization. Neither is it a terrorist zone. It is not a terrorist zone. Some people are saying so many things that the reason why these things are because people can. We know that people can equally disseminate fake news out there. But the fake news out there cannot be compared to the real news on the social media spaces. As a matter of fact, social media spaces is a means where people now use to express how they are feeling. For instance, the killings going on in the country at the moment. For instance, the slash in the price of fuel by Dangote, which was rejected by the federal government of Nigeria under the leadership of NNPC. I don't know if you guys are getting something. So why calling social media spaces a terrorist media? I don't know. This is not a terrorist. It is not a bandit. It is a highly welcomed social media platform where people express they're talking about information. Information is given and taken. You are giving information, as you're giving out information, you're equally taking information from people. That is social media. Passing that information and equally receiving information. That is social media. So, in this effect, I am really condemning the statement made by the Sultan of Sokoto regarding social media as a bandit. Anyway, my people, what was very dark man and other Nigerian content creators equally condemn and what they say regarding this particular Sultan of Sokoto statement regarding social media. Feel free to drop your opinion in the comment section. And if you finish watching and not subscribe to our YouTube channel, please kindly do well to subscribe. Subscription is always free, so that you always get notified of all our latest content. Don't forget to turn your bell button on for all latest Nigeria. Thank you guys and watch the rest of the video. Make sure you don't skip any part of this video.
What they do, when somebody is in his comfort room and formulate stories, and you will see that it's true. So, social media is a terrorist organization that we must deal with. Security agencies must deal with this terrorist organization called social media. So we're not happy with what's been happening either on the plateau or some.
All right, so you heard the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammadu Sa'adu Abubakar III. He just said that social media is a terrorist organization and that it must be dealt with by the security agency. So basically now, he has started a campaign against social media. That's just the start of a campaign against social media. If you remember, they're already pushing for a bill that was led by Ned Nwoko. I saw it online. Led by Ned Nwoko, that social media should be regulated. So now this man don't join in voice as the Sultan of Sokoto. They are slowly strengthening it. So they are moving towards regulating social media. Now, sir, I want to understand that because of your reason you gave, that somebody can just sit down inside his house and make a publication, a false publication, and then that is injurious. Yes, you are right on that part. A lot of people take advantage of social media. But if that is your reason for calling social media a terrorist organization, then I would say you are emotional. You know, I would just say Nigerians should not be angry because our father just spoke out of emotions. Maybe somebody somewhere made a publication about him or some of his friends that he knows maybe it is not true. So it got him in the mood to say, okay, you know what? Social media is a terrorist group. But it is offensive to us that use social media to do good, that use social media to fight for the right of others, that use social media to fight for victim of scam, victim of fraud, to help communities that don't have water get water, to support a lot of youths that are victims of the bad economy of this country. A lot of youths, by supporting them, okay, take this small money to start business. I know a lot of good that myself and my team have used social media to do in just a short period of time. So without social media, how are we going to do all these things? Immediately I watched the publication, in my head I'm like, wait a minute, now let me say our forefathers, they really suffer, because a lot of people don't benefit from this social media. Like I said, there are a lot of disadvantage of it too. But the disadvantage can never outweigh the advantage, because the advantage of social media is 92 to 8%. 92 to 8%. Now, to the Sultan of Sokoto, I respect you very much and I will never disrespect you, because you are a first-class king in Nigeria, very influential, and your word holds a lot of strength and a lot of water. Thank God, God's so kind that you see a lot of things that go on social media. So I'll just call your attention to some, in case you are not seeing them, so that you can look them up. So I'm glad you have a phone. Sir, please, can you call the federal government, can you call their attention to what is happening in Jos Plateau State? On the 13th of April, Palm Sunday, on the 13th morning, on Sunday, a community in Plateau State was attacked. And that day, that Sunday, it claimed the lives of over 70 people. Before that day, Bokos community in Jos was also attacked. Up till today, justice have not been served. And as we are speaking now, I am pretty certain that they are still planning on attacking Jos. Like I said in my previous video, Jos is one of the most attacked states in Nigeria. It's one of the states that suffered insecurity more than any state in Nigeria. Jos and Benue State. Again, while we are still talking about Jos, another attack happened in Benue State. So, sir, you can use your influence to call on the attention of the federal government to do something about the security of people. Please, sir. This same place you are calling a terrorist organization or saying that it's a terrorist app or anything, it's the same people that are using. That's how we cry to you. Because how do we assess the government? The government don't listen to us. Now the same social media now where you call terrorist organization. Now so I take note saying Nigerians are being trafficked to Ivory Coast. Which we are trying. It is the same social media that Alan Oyema, the owner of APs, saw it that Nigerians are being there are Nigerians stranded in Ivory Coast as a result of trafficking. That Alan Oyema said, I will drop my plane for you people to go and bring the girls. Without social media, how will Alan Oyema see these things? With the same social media, I have rescued some girls. I cannot begin to list what I have done with social media in the past 1-2 years that I've been present on this media. I cannot even begin to list it. That is from me. There are still other creators, there are still other influencers that have been doing amazingly well. I want to believe that as the Sultan of Sokoto, you are still even learning. And you learn online. Without social media, you cannot do your PhDs, you cannot do your masters. Because, my father, you are very educated. See the way you speak. Intellectually sound. So you do online classes that I'm pretty sure of. Or maybe you have done it in the time past. So without social media, how does this thing? A lot of information that is being passed. Like now, one of the what Tinubu say they do, where I don't even believe whether they do them true or false. This one where they talk say student loan. A lot of information. People don't watch TV anymore. People don't read newspapers anymore. It's only social media. So you cannot come out and say social media is a terrorist organization. It is very offensive to people like us that use social media to do good. So please, sir, use your office since you watch the media to call on the attention of the federal government about this injustice. See, Enugu women are still crying up to tomorrow. These herdsmen, they kpai them for bush. Bayelsa, they are still crying tomorrow. Edo State, we are still crying to tomorrow. Borno Meduguri has suffered a lot till tomorrow. Without social media, how do we do all these things? So now with this viewpoint of mine, I believe I'm able to convince and not confuse you that social media is not a terrorist organization and can never be a terrorist organization, because the advantage of social media outweighs the disadvantage of social media in existence. Thank you very much, my Lord. God bless you, sir. Thank you very much. Peace and love, and don't play. Be first class king, you cannot learn. Respect, my Lord. Thank you, my father. Please, sir. Social media is not a terrorist organization. Thank you, sir.
Trailing comments made by the Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar III, who has described social media as a terrorist organization following the recent killings in Plateau State, highlighting its role in spreading false information and inciting unrest. The Sultan made the comment during the 7th Executive Committee meeting of the Northern Traditional Rulers Council in Maiduguri, Borno State. The Muslim leader urged security agencies to address the issue of fake news being spread on social media with the seriousness it deserves, akin to other threats to national security. Let's take a look.
People don't know what Fulani is. Please read books. People don't know what can we read books. Everything is there. And that's how we thank the government for bringing back history. Some of us try to close the history books as though history does not exist. You can't read history. You can't. What happened has happened, and it's there written. You can't come and through social media. But that's one terrorist organization, social media. Social media is a terrorist organization. What they do, when somebody sits in his comfort room and formulate stories, and you will swear that it's true. So, social media is a terrorist organization that we must deal with. Security agencies must deal with this terrorist organization called social media.
All right, this is a very loaded statement, very heavy. A lot of reactions have trailed it, obviously because, you know, he's talking about social media and users on social media have reacted. Let me take this from Step Up Niger, who wrote, statements like this are worrying and deeply dangerous. Social media is not a terrorist organization. It's a tool, a platform where Nigerians organize, speak up, and hold power to account, especially when traditional systems fall short. The real threat is in social media. It's the leadership vacuum, lack of justice, and broken trust that fuel frustration in the first place. Yes, misinformation should be addressed, but silencing citizens is a slippery slope to authoritarianism, not a solution. We need leaders who solve problems, not suppress voices. Kind of agree with Step Up Nigeria. I'll take this other tweet. This is from Amadu, who wrote, terrorist organization might sound dramatic, but he's not far from the truth when you look at it from a bigger picture. Terrorism isn't just about violence. It is about spreading fear. And in today's world, fear travels fastest through one medium, social media. Radicalization at scale. Extremist groups use social platforms to identify, groom, and recruit individuals through memes, videos, and forums. They normalize extremist views and weaponize ideology. Terrorist acts are often designed for maximum media coverage. Social media multiplies this tenfold, turning local events into global propaganda in minutes. Platforms like Telegram, WhatsApp, and even Twitter DMs become tools for planning, coordination, and private propaganda away from law enforcement scrutiny. Gamification of violence. Some extremist groups treat acts of terror like missions or achievements. Social media becomes the scoreboard, rewarding those who go viral with notoriety and admiration in radical circles. Several attackers have broadcasted violence in real time, knowing platforms will amplify the spectacle. This serves both propaganda and psychological warfare purposes. Social media isn't causing terrorism, but it's become a powerful amplifier, recruiter, and stage for extremist activity. Understanding this is key to disrupting the digital ecosystem of modern terrorism. The role of social media in our contemporary world can't be overlooked. That is a loaded tweet, a lot of dimensions with what he has said. And I do also agree with not everything, in part of everything that he said.
No, I think the lion's share of what he said is actually quite apt.
Yes.
And I think that for a tweet, it almost reads like an article or an essay, really, because he's articulated himself very, very well. And I think that what he has done is really identify the problem with social media. I'm quite accustomed to defending social media because I think it serves a great good. And we've had, even before the explosion of social media, we've always unfortunately had crime, had negative issues, and what we might not have had is a vehicle to make people aware of what is happening in the world. Have people been able to weaponize social media to negatively? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I do think that what he said is correct, but I don't think the solution is to ban it or to end it. It's unfortunately another layer of this evil of terrorism.
Absolutely. Let me take another tweet, Rufai, because I know that you want to buttress your point here. This is from Polonium, who wrote, I think what he wanted to say is that terrorists use social media to showcase their crimes. Don't we see how terrorists and bandits post pictures of them sharing money on TikTok? Perhaps that's what he was referring to. I'm sure he has children and grandchildren who use social media, including WhatsApp. Are they terrorists or committing terror? His media aides should quickly do a PR and clarify his remarks. I think his remarks were quite accurate. I mean, he did say it. He reiterated social media as a terrorist organization. I mean, I think that he meant what he was saying in that video, Rufai.
So, social media is not a terrorist organization. It can't be a terrorist organization because what is it? Like he said, it's a media. It's a medium. A medium is a blank canvas. What you put on that medium matters a great deal. Prior to this time, there's something we call books. Historically, when you go back to the 1500s, one of the first major tools that changed the world was the Gutenberg Bible, printed by Johannes Gutenberg, because then it was a big deal reading the Bible and knowing it for yourself. It was when the likes of Martin Luther got a hold of that, he wrote his theatres on Winterburn Gate, and he said, the just shall live by faith. It caused a big liberation in the Christian fold. Then, as printing went of age, people got more information. These are mediums. Then, in the 20s and 30s, Guglielmo Marconi transferred the first radio wave. Then we had radio. That was also used to spread propaganda.
So many different.
What we call traditional form today was used to spread propaganda. In fact, it was said the likes of Father Coughlin spread a lot of anti-Jewish propaganda through the radio. Then in the 50s, the likes of ABS, CBS, and Dumont brought about this new technology called television that had been perfected in the 20s and 30s by the likes of John Longy Bird. It was also used. We had words like the revolution will not be televised. Then DARPA came about. Tim Berners-Lee in 1991, the World Wide Web. All of this platform will be used, but the question is, how is it used? So social media is not the problem. It has also been a force of good. If not for social media, are we going to know about the kid that they were beating yesterday that the governor of Borno saved?
Perfect example, because I also have
another story. If not for social media, are we going to know about the inequity and the crisis that is going on? Are we going to be able to reveal police officers that are doing all of what they're doing?
The girls in Ivory Coast.
The guests in Ivory Coast, if not for social media. So it's what you put on it. Traditional media too can be a tool in the hands of terrorists.
Yes.
ISIS had a newspaper called Dabik that they shared. What can we do? I think the very first thing we should do, the Americans have a cybersecurity force in their armed forces now. We should be able to have a cybersecurity unit that goes ahead, that is part of most social media sites, that debunk most of these lies and bring clarity. The traditional gatekeepers too can also do that work, which we've been doing.
Absolutely.
Fact-checking most of the stories and all of that. Sometimes we will not get it right.
Yes.
Look at the story of the summon. The state came out to debunk it afterwards. Most media are taking it. I even took it. But we can quickly retract and say, okay, this is the state of things and what is happening. Then most importantly, educate people more of most of these videos and all of that.
Yes.
But you saying it is the terrorist organization, it's just a platform. It cannot be.
Yes.
It's also being used as an agent for good.
Yes.
There are people that their faith was strengthened on social media.
Yes, I think that, the Sultan has spoken well, actually, because it has brought this conversation to bear at this point, to the security agencies. And I think what is important is that the information being shared on social media, like that Twitter user alluded to, is the fact that you can actually use that information to trace these terrorists. We have taken stories, Vimbai, where we have seen, videos of these bandits flaunting money and all of that. There's this geolocation. We can track these people. Without social media, we will not know their whereabouts.
Absolutely. OJ, I think most of the valid points have been made already. But I think what I want to talk about is how we can restore trust in our leaders.
Yes.
Because when we speak of regulation around social media, it's a taboo. And this is because so much trust has been eroded between leaders and people. So when social media users hear about regulation of the social media space, they already feel that it's an opportunity for politicians to weaponize the space and gag opposition and gag voices that are counter to whatever they stand for. So I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done there in us understanding that regulation is important. Everything is regulated. Television, Rufai took us through the history. If you go through the history, most of the media started very liberal, and then we realized that, oh no, there has to be rules. One of my favorite examples is Mussolini, and how Mussolini, before he rose to be a dictator, he actually was used to plant stories
He ran a newspaper.
In an attempt to paint the opposition negatively. So regulation doesn't have to be a bad thing. However, it should not be weaponized. And we need to carry people along to ensure that it is fair and just in its implementation.
Well said, Joel. Thank you. Well, meanwhile, the Inspector General